What's up guys, with our True Good Development. In this video, I'm adding an outlet in my garage. Excuse the messy look here, but that's what prompted the whole project. I need to move my fridge from where it is now. That's the only outlet I have, into somewhere along this wall, and then putting in the storage bins, etc., etc. Well, I don't have any outlets there, so what I'm going to do is use the power source from the garage outlet. I'm gonna tap into that and I'm gonna fish a line down that way. Couple of disclaimers. Typically, you want your fridge on a dedicated circuit, okay? Now, this is my secondary fridge, so I'm okay with not having it on a dedicated circuit. The reason why you wanna have it on a dedicated circuit is, say, it is on a circuit that has 2 or 3 or 4 other outlets that something is plugged into, and you want to work on these things. Well, you go and shut the breaker off, but now your fridge is off as well. So you're going to spoil your food, whatever. In my case, I'm okay with this because this is my secondary fridge, and also when I go to do that work, say on maybe the garage door, I will go ahead and use an extension cord and plug my fridge. So I'm okay with that. So that's number one. Number two, the other thing is you don't want to overload any particular circuit. So in this case, I'm adding an additional outlet onto this circuit. Again, I'm okay with that because I know what's on that circuit. I'm not going to be overloading it. So these are 2 disclaimers for you guys, just to keep in mind if you're gonna do work like this or any other work. I'll add a 3rd disclaimer. I am not an electrician, but I have done a ton of these outlets, so I'm fairly comfortable with it, if you've seen my other videos. So with that said, let's get to it. Some of the stuff you'll need, guys, I got 14 gauge wire. Typically outlets should be on a 12 gauge. I went up to the attic and I saw that they've used 14 gauge wire, so I'm gonna stick with that. And that's okay, there's 15 amp outlets, and that's what I'm gonna be using here. The second thing you'll need is a junction box with some connectors, these guys, so to make sure the wire doesn't go anywhere once you install it. Obviously the outlet, wire nut connectors. I'm using a light just because I'm in the attic, there's no light there. You may need a fish, but again, working in the attic is pretty easy. There's no insulation there, so it should be straightforward. All right, guys, I'm gonna go over the lay of the land. So again, this is the outlet, so that's always going to be hot, so we need to shut that off at the breaker. Once you have that shut off, get into your attic. If your attic does not have an access panel like this, you can simply do one of those. Just go ahead and cut the drywall. You can install some trim to pretty it up and then put a piece in just to kind of cover things. Anyways, so you're going up there. Junction box is going to go right up in there in the attic, and we're going to tap into that power. Then we're going to connect our new line that's going to go across and then down. Notice here, I've already have that cut out. I just basically use the utility knife to do that. Whenever I'm fishing wire, whether there's an attic up top or a second floor where you have no access to, I do a cut where I expose the top plate of the wall and the ceiling. Here's a close-up. So I expose the plating of the wall and the ceiling. So that way, in the same cut, I can easily fish my wire up or down. So this is open here, so that goes in the wall cavity between the 2 studs. So I can drop down easily. Now, of course, there's insulation, so that's gonna be in the way. We're gonna push it down a little bit. I'm gonna take my Fastener bit, and I'm gonna go ahead and carve out this plating a little bit here, and I'm gonna embed my wire, staple it so it doesn't go anywhere. And that way, when I put the drywall, it's not going to interfere with the wire. And down here, you cut out for where your outlet is going to go. All right, guys, let me go over my setup here in the attic. Coming up that way, I got my wire fished down there, and I'm gonna show you that in a second. This is where I'm gonna throw my junction box. I'm gonna feed off of that unit there. I'm gonna feed off of this unit here. So I'm gonna cut the wire somewhere there, make my connections to the new wire. I'm also gonna run another wire going out down that way because I don't have an outlet on that side of the garage as well. It'll be nice to have one there too. This is the wire that I fished right up there. And I got my little fish here. So I'm gonna go ahead and connect this wire and fish it down. Once I have my wire fished down here, we'll go back up and work on that junction box. Also real quick, I took my Forstner bit here and I went ahead and carved this out. Again, that way this wire will sit nice and flush against there. If you're not familiar what a Forstner bit is, this is what it looks like. Okay guys, here's what I have going on so far. That's my junction box. I got a wire coming out, going into the outlet for the fridge. I have the second wire going out to where the other outlet is going to be. I disconnected this wire that's going to the garage, and that's where the power source is coming from, right here. Okay, so simple stuff. One thing I want to point out is this was super tight, so I pigtailed off of it. Here, I'm going to do the same thing there with this guy using these. And then I'm going to go ahead and tie everything together. Black to black, white to white, and your ground to ground, and we should be good to go. Additional tool I needed was my wire stripper. And I'm basically just cutting these back to attach them. There it is, guys. Everything's hooked together. All that's left is the cap. Throw that bad boy right on there. Tighten it all up. Back down here, time to install the outlet. Strip your wire. Pop one of these guys. You don't want to over tighten these boxes. Take a wire strip, take about 1/2 inch off. Now your outlet might have the quick connects in the back. If not, you use the screws. Silver screws are for neutral, and brass screws are for the hot. And of course, the ground is this screw right here. Plug this in, give it a tug, make sure it doesn't go anywhere. There you go. Last step, of course, you want to test. There you go. There you go, guys. This was an easy project. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please like the video, sub the channel if you haven't. It's the only way to support it. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys on the next one.